Hello and welcome to Brian Lomax's Movie Talk. I've just watched the 4th episode of Season 1 of Gotham. This one's called Arkham. Now, for any Batman fans, you will know instantly what that refers to. Arkham Asylum, of course. This is the insane asylum, basically, where all of Batman's rogues gallery is going to end up. Well, half of them anyway. The ones who aren't classed as criminally insane go to Blackgate Prison. But yeah, the proper wackos, they go to Arkham Asylum. And this episode sees a bit of a bidding war going on between Falcone and Maroni. So they're both trying to get their hands on plans, or they want to get their own plans pushed through with regards to renovations on Arkham. But the Waynes, Thomas and Martha Wayne, their plan was actually to completely renew it. So build it from scratch, make it a top-rate facility for the care of the mentally insane in Gotham. So, that's what this episode is about. It's about the war between Maroni and Falcone, or the start of it at any rate, and this is just a piece of that puzzle. And a hitman is involved. The same hitman works for both sides, bizarrely. It just shows you how similar the both sides are, that they hire the same hitman. The hitman's weapon, his choice of weapon, it's something he's created himself based on what he says in the program, and it kind of leaves me scratching my head sometimes at the wackiness of some of the murder weapons in this show, given that the last episode we had the balloon man who, as Alfred said, could have found easy ways to kill people. Same with this guy, he has to go through the rigmarole of getting this man at the beginning to look into this object before he can take his eye out with it. A gun with a silencer, I think, may have been bit more effective, I guess. I don't know. It just seems a bit of a wacky choice anyway. But beyond that, the episode is pretty strong, actually, I gotta say. Aside for one gag that doesn't quite work because it's overplayed, when this basically Bullock and Gordon, they're going after the hitman, actually, at this place where they think he works, and they're going in with guns into this back room. And then this woman comes out and she kind of freaks out because she's got guns on her, and it looks like she was stealing some paper clips, and she freaks out about it. But it's a little bit over the top, the joke. It kind of feels a bit forced. But other than that, like I say, the wacky weapon and the forced gag are the only two weak points really of what is otherwise a pretty strong episode. I like the fact that we're really getting now into this war between Maroni and Falcone, and I like the fact that Penguin is a player amongst all of this. He's playing his cards now. He's starting to work his way up very slowly, and we see how crafty he is at it. Again, Robin Lord Taylor in this one wins me over a bit more than the first time round I watched it, and that's another thing actually. I think when I first watched this, it was through like the Now TV box with not a great reception, and the picture wasn't fantastic. I'm watching this back now on Blu-ray through a Blu-ray player on a high definition TV. And I gotta say, it's actually quite a beautiful show. Some of the lighting in it is tremendous. Totally fake. It doesn't feel like realistic lighting. It feels more mood lighting. They're going for specifically for the mood they're trying to create for the show. But it works for me. It really works for me. Particularly like Wayne Manor. There's just a moment in it when Alfred's having a conversation with Gordon, and I'm noticing the lighting a lot more. I'm noticing the production design a lot more, and it is a really nice looking show, I gotta say. And another standout in this episode for me was an actress called Mackenzie Lee, and she plays this character called Liza, who, again, everyone in this is making moves, and you got Fish Mooney who's trying to plant this woman in Falcone's life, basically, and it's this woman called Liza, and Fish Mooney has these open auditions for this role that she's trying to get, she makes people do some wacky things in it. Like there's a couple of scenes where she makes them in the audition process try and seduce her. Interesting. But yeah, and then towards the end, she gets these two finalists to kind of fight it out, and that again was an interesting scene, nicely played by this actress Mackenzie Lee. I think she's one to watch. Apparently, she was in Billy Lynn's Long Walk, whatever the hell that title is, for Ang Lee's last film, which I've still not seen, but I'm a huge Ang Lee fan, so I need to get around to that. But apparently she's in that. I don't know how big a role is. But yeah, for me, I think she's one to watch. I would imagine we'll be hearing her name quite a bit in the future, because she was pretty good in this episode. Beyond that, it's business as usual. Gordon, Bullock doing their thing. We've got a little bit of thing going on in this episode with Gordon and Barbara, who, after looking at IMDb, after watching this episode, I've only just realised he's actually referred to as Barbara Keene. So for some reason, I thought Gordon and her were married in this. I thought it was his wife. I have no idea why, because looking back, it's never actually said that. It's never actually made that as a case. I just know from the comic books that that Gordon had a wife called Barbara, and that's who he names his daughter after. But I don't know if that's where they're going here. So this Barbara is Barbara Keene. I don't know if it's the same Barbara that goes on to be his wife. Based on some of the stuff that happens in this season, like I say, I've seen it before, I'd imagine that's not the case. Don't know what's going on there. Gives them a little bit more wiggle room, I guess, a little bit more leeway to play with this character in ways that I wasn't previously enjoying. But yeah, anyway, that's by the by. In this episode, we've got this whole thing between Barbara and Gordon, in which Barbara doesn't want any secrets, and Gordon doesn't want any secrets. They both get bent out of shape at various points in the episode when they learn that the other person is keeping secrets from them. And I kind of side with Barbara on this one, because she comes clean about her stuff, yet Gordon still won't. I'm kind of on her side in that one. But yeah. It's a good episode, very good episode, good strong episode, in which all the players seem to get a little bit to do, or a lot to do in some cases. You don't feel anyone's getting shortchanged; everyone's getting handled, and like I say, they're all playing a game of their own in some way. Decent fight scene as well between Gordon and the hitman towards the end of the show. I do like a good scrap, but that was nicely handled. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. Probably my favourite episode out of the 4 we've seen so far. It feels a lot more relaxed. People feel like they're getting more into their characters now. The story's starting to kick into gear. So yeah, 4 out of 5 from me. But what about you? Have you seen this episode? Are you a fan of this series? If so, please comment below and let me know what you thought about it and the series in general. And until next time, crack in.